So today's video is a little bit different. It is an improvised story. Also, I have 2 more videos coming out later on, so keep an eye out for that. Welcome back to another One Shot Monday. Today is a Shinobu X listener written by me, Ginger Lee, titled Ice Flower. A white crescent, created underneath my feet, appeared, glowing as my tips freezed up slowly from my sword, my toes. My whole body froze. It was so cold atop that winter mountain. I looked at the demon, straight in the eyes, her cynical smile staring right back at me. How did I get myself in here? Oh yeah, it was another mission. Her toothy grin, her kimono, the parasol she was holding even. It enraged me. I hated it. I felt powerless. This demon. I didn't know what to do. As my body froze up, slowly, as soon I let out my last breath before the sharp clashing sound of sword against sword echoed across the mountain. I looked to see the insect Hashira, shinobu, kocho, knife against the demon's head as the demon fell to the ground. Her unique sword, so delicate and light compared to most. Her body was too weak to wield a normal sword, as hers is more like a needle, poisoning her victims. It wasn't strong enough in my defense, but she wielded like a god, defeating every demon she meets. I fell to the ground, ice cold, as my body slowly went back to a normal temperature. But to say the poison that the demon injected in me in the cold didn't affect me would be a lie, as my body was still freezing, temperature still dropping even after my body stopped freezing. The Hashira noticed and walked over to me. Arara, did you get yourself in a little bit of trouble? I'll help you out. Here, she said, picking out a box from her sleeve. Looking at this, I knew exactly what she was doing, creating a cure on the spot like she usually would. As she was mixing, I looked into her eyes, the world's most beautiful shade of purple. God, she was beautiful, I thought, when suddenly, Mashimash, are you there? I heard, before snapping out of my delusions, looking at her. She nodded, putting out a hand, as if asking me for something. I assumed she wanted my hand, so I gave it, when she suddenly injected me with what I assumed the cure. Afterwards, I blacked out, exhaustion taking over as my stamina hit 0. I soon woke up in a familiar room as I felt the comfortable bed beneath me, looking to see. I'm in the butterfly state. Looking around, you thought to yourself, how did I get here? Before sitting up when the door slid open to reveal none other than the beautiful shinobu. Walking in, as she said, well, it seems like you're up. Now. She stopped, placing down a tray with your medicine as she harshly grabbed your face, hands cupping you cheek to cheek. Now, why didn't you call for backup when you knew you can't fight an ice demon? You looked down, disappointed at yourself. When she let go, I thought I could defeat her myself. I didn't mean to, I just thought that you stopped abruptly as she grabbed your face with one hand, shoving the medicine down your throat with the other, before handing you a cup of water. Now, sweetie, you were being very stubborn there, huh? You nodded, knowing that your ice breathing wouldn't help fighting an ice demon. You begged for her forgiveness as she let you go, laying onto the bed, arms wrapped around your torso. You shouldn't scare me like that. You're the only one I have left. Her actions surprised you as you placed the cup of water back onto the nightstand, holding her in your grasp. I know. I'm sorry. You apologized. Before slowly laying down her head on your chest as you patted her head, apologizing. I'm sorry, Kocho. I won't do that again. She looked at you and then looked back down, closing her eyes, laying there. I've been worried. I know you have. Those words came out before the room dropped into silence. Not awkward, but comfortable. Like a warm blanket. Then suddenly, she spoke again. You've been out for days. You were shocked. You thought you were only out for a day, maybe a few hours? But days? No, that couldn't be. You looked at her with concern in your eyes. Kocho, how long have I been out? Her purple eyes looked into yours as you saw the black circles underneath them. 2 weeks. You've been out for 2 weeks. You looked at her, shocked, what you just heard. I've been out for 2 weeks? She nodded gently, but still not uttering a word. And suddenly, you cupped her face, forcing her to look up at you. Have you been taking care of yourself? You have dark circles under your eyes. Have you been eating? Sleeping? Anything? She stayed quiet before nodding very gently against her chest. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just didn't want the thought of losing you to take over. So I decided to wait until you wake up. You didn't know what to say after hearing this. The one you loved, throwing their own health into jeopardy just to make sure you were okay. You didn't know what to do, but hold her tightly in your arms as you whispered, I'm okay now. Don't worry. I'll never leave you. These words struck her like an arrow as she finally broke down in tears, crying of worry, sadness, and most of all, guilt. Guilt that she wasn't there for you. She hugged on to you tightly, not wanting to let go, as you tried to calm her down for the rest of the evening.